Okay, just picture this for a second. There are no pipes, there's no well, and it hasn't rained for days. And yet, you see this. Water just dripping, slow and steady, into a trough, like it's been doing it all night long. Well, that's because it has. And that right there, that's fresh, clean drinking water pulled straight out of the thin air.
So, the big question is, can you actually do this? And the answer is a huge, resounding yes. You absolutely can. This simple little device, which, by the way, cost me just $12 to build, does exactly that. And today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to build one for yourself. Now, you might be thinking, this is some brand new, cutting-edge invention, but it's not. Not at all. In fact, engineers have known about this simple trick for well over 100 years. It's been used in coastal villages in Chile, in the mountains of Morocco. The real reason you've probably never heard of it is captured perfectly by this quote. It just works too well and it costs too little for anyone to bother selling it to you. This is powerful, forgotten knowledge. So how in the world does this magic actually work? Well, turns out it's not magic at all. It's really simple science that, honestly, you've seen in action your entire life. You just might not have connected the dots yet. It all boils down to one simple concept called the dew point. You know how you get condensation on a cold glass on a hot summer day? Or you see dew covering the grass in the morning? Yep, that's the dew point in action. It's the exact temperature where the air just can't hold its invisible water vapor anymore, and that vapor is forced to turn back into liquid water. Our little device here is just a giant surface, designed to make that happen on a massive scale.
And the amount of water we're talking about here is it's staggering. At any given moment, the atmosphere around us holds roughly 37 billion gallons of fresh water. To put that in perspective, that is more water than every single river on Earth combined, just floating right over our heads. And almost nobody is collecting it.
Okay, let's get into it. This is your simple, no tools required guide to building your very own atmospheric water collector. The best part? You can get everything you need in a single trip to the hardware store. So here's your complete parts list. It's super simple. We're talking about $5 for some shade cloth mesh. Make sure you get a nice tight weave, kind of like a window screen, not a volleyball net. About $2 for PVC pipe, a handful of zip ties you probably already have lying around, $3 for a short plastic gutter, and some bricks or rocks you can literally find for free. That's it. The grand total comes out to about $12. All right, step 1, the frame. This couldn't be easier. Just take your 4 pieces of PVC pipe and assemble them into a simple rectangle, about 4 feet tall by 3 feet wide. You don't need any glue or special fittings. Just use a couple of zip ties on each corner to lock them together nice and tight. It just needs to be sturdy enough to hold its shape. Now for what is absolutely the most important part of the whole build, the mesh. You need to stretch that shade cloth over the frame and pull it tight. I mean, the crucial thing here is you want zero sag at all. Think about the surface of a drum. You want that same kind of tension. Use plenty of zip ties, maybe every 6 inches or so, to secure it along all 4 sides.
Okay, so you've built the collector. Awesome. Now let's talk about the pro tips that are going to turn this from a cool weekend project into a serious source of water. Believe me, placement is absolutely everything.
Right, the single biggest mistake people make is laying it flat on the ground. Don't do that. If it's flat, any water that forms just pools on top and then evaporates as soon as the sun comes up. You'll end up with almost nothing. What you need to do is tilt it at about a 30-degree angle. That way, gravity can do all the work, pulling every single drop down into your collection trough.
Now, beyond the angle, there are a few other key rules for placement. First, you want to face it directly into the prevailing wind to get maximum airflow. Second, prop it up on those bricks or rocks so it's at least a foot off the ground where the air is a little bit cooler. Third, make sure that gutter is tucked right underneath that lower edge to catch everything. And finally, try to keep it out of the direct morning sun. That way you can collect your water before it has a chance to evaporate.
So you did it. You built it, you've placed it perfectly, you set it up before sunset. What can you actually expect to find waiting for you in the morning?
On my very first night, with just average humidity and no fog at all, I collected just over half a liter of water. Now, that might not sound like a ton, but remember, those were perfectly average conditions. The point is, it worked on the very first try with nothing special about the weather at all.
But here's where it gets really exciting. If you live in a more humid area, maybe near the coast or in a river valley, or anywhere that gets morning fog, a collector this size can easily pull in 1 to 2 liters every single night. And if you decide to scale the mesh up to, say, 10 by 10 feet, you're suddenly producing a serious amount of daily water.
This, of course, is the big question. Is this water actually safe to drink? Well, the great news is, atmospheric water is already surprisingly clean. I mean, it hasn't touched the ground, so it avoids most of the common contaminants right off the bat. But to be perfectly safe, there's a ridiculously simple filtration method you can use.
You can build this super effective filter in about 5 minutes. Seriously. Just grab a plastic bottle, cut the bottom off, and flip it upside down. Then you just layer it. Start with a wad of cotton, then a layer of activated charcoal, you can get this at any pet store, then some fine sand, and top it off with another layer of cotton. Pour your collected water through the top, and what drips out the bottom is clean, filtered, and ready to drink.
You know, the thing that really gets me is just how ancient this idea truly is. The Incas built massive stone structures to do this exact same thing. Archaeologists now believe that some Bronze Age wells were actually dew collectors. It seems somewhere along the way, as we all got modern plumbing, we just forgot this was even possible.
But for just $12 and a single afternoon of your time, that forgotten knowledge is back in your hands. So, if you found this explainer useful and you want to see more projects like this one, please take a quick second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It honestly helps us out a ton.
So whether you're a prepper, someone interested in living off-grid, or you just like building cool things that actually work, the principle is the same. The water is right there, floating in the air for the taking. The knowledge is now yours. So the only question left is, now that you know the secret, what will you build?